What's it gonna be?
I don't know. I can't decide. There isn't really a menu. It's just kind of like chicken burrito, 2 of them.
Raimundo, le pones
Awesome. Thank you. Wow. Wow. A little bit of agua. Cheers. That'll get you.
Who are you?
I don't know.
Become a little project, huh?
It certainly has. I love/hate how I do that to myself. It's always, I don't know. I just can't help it. I just like cutting stuff apart and making it cool.
Will this make the car faster?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Will it make it handle better?
Absolutely.
Drift better?
Absolutely. Doing a little bit of organizing. We got some new oil for the year. Pretty excited about this. Actually, I love this. This is pretty awesome. Oh, we got all this stuff. So we got 550 XPR. That's what goes in my comp car. We got 2050 HPS, which goes in my E36. We have Synchro Max, which is for synchro transmissions, like my diesel truck or my E36 transmission. The power steering fluid. We have ATF. We have fuel injector cleaner, Max Atomizer. We have Max Boost. It's pretty sweet, high performance additives. I just read the box. Cut that out. All this stuff, love it. So we have reached the final couple of steps on this roll cage project, which I'm pretty excited about. So the last thing that we have to do on this is the door bars. Door bars can be a little bit tricky, and some people don't really know what style that they want to do. Usually I always do the X style door bar, and not necessarily where you notch the 2 tubes together. I like to do it where you bend the 2 tubes together. It creates 2 triangles in the side of your car, which is, a triangle is the strongest shape, right? So in that case, in my opinion, it's very, very strong, and they look pretty trick too. Not to mention they're fairly easy to get in and out of once you have your seats in there. You're not like cramped trying to get in quite as much as like a NASCAR ladder style door bar. So what I usually do when doing an X style door bar is you have to figure out how high you want it. That's first things first. You figure out if you want them to go all the way up top and go full crazy with it, but that does make it really, really difficult to get in and out, or you want to run them nice and low. This car once was a street car, now it's not anymore, but either way, I'm gonna try and keep these door bars pretty low because I want it to be easy to get in and out of for the driver and the passenger. So what I always do, I go back to my trusty pre-bent tubes that I already have. So this is a 20-degree bend. So I kind of like jumped in here and I kind of held this up, and I think that that actually looks pretty good. So it's gonna come from the main hoop, come up, one bend, down to the A-pillar. And then we're gonna flip another tube over, and it's gonna come from the main hoop down, meet that tube, and then come back up. So a good rule of thumb is you can always bend a tube more, you can't always unbend a tube. So I think that a safe number to begin bending our door bars to is about 20 degrees each. So that's what I'm gonna go with. So I took an overall measurement and then I added a little bit to it because we're always gonna cut some off the end. Not to mention, we're gonna need a little bit more tube if we try and bow these door bars out a little bit or give it some anti-intrusion. So I cut a 4-foot piece and then I marked the center of it. So that's 2 feet from either side. Then I'm gonna take my trusty old pre-bent 20 degree. I'm gonna put the center of the bend right where my center line is. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna hold that right there, and I'm gonna roll that tube down. That's gonna give me my mandrel mark like we were talking about. So that essentially will make the bend right in the center of the tube pretty easily. And now all I gotta do is set my mandrel mark up on the bender, give it a bend, and then we have a couple of these. That's what they turn into with a 20-degree bend. So now that we have all 4 of the tubes bent up, what I like to do now is just go ahead and decide which tube is gonna be your bottom bar and which one's gonna be your top bar, because sometimes it can be a little bit easy to mix them up. It's easy just to write it on it with a Sharpie so you don't end up notching some off the end of the wrong bar, which would kind of be a bummer. We're pretty much ready to start notching the tube and figure out how far out we want these to bow into the door. In my case, I have all of my factory windows and my motor still on there, and I'm probably gonna leave it for now. I think that the door bars will be low enough to where they're not gonna need to stick out a whole lot. I'm not gonna have to worry about hitting my elbow on them since they will be so low. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my bottom bar and I'm gonna kind of hold it up in the car and kind of get an eyeball on the angles that I have to notch and figure out how far out we can roll those tubes into the door. So that's gonna take a little bit of eyeballing, and it kind of takes a minute. Something else that I like to do is to make sure that the X in the door bar is centered between the cage. I like to do it between the cage because then it moves the center of where the two tubes meet together. It moves it back in the door a little bit, and I think it looks kind of cool. You just kind of want to make it look good. So that's why I give it that center line mark, so I always know the center between A-pillar and main hoop. So this is where it can get pretty tricky, and it almost turns into sort of a guessing game. So I can't fit the door bar in between the A-pillar and the main hoop because the tube is too long, which is a good thing. So what I have to do now is I like to hold one end up to the main hoop, and I'm gonna roll that tube out a little bit, but not too much so it's touching the door. And the reason I can do that is I have to do one of these notches at a time. So this is really how I get the angle of my notch. So what I'll do is I'll give it basically just a straight line directly on the axis of where the hole saw is going to go. So what I do when I set it up in the notcher, I just make sure, I just barely kiss it with the hole saw, and I just make sure the hole saw is just barely touching it right on that black mark first. And then that will give it a perfectly straight notch all the way through. So all I'm gonna do is just give it that one little line now that I got this door bar rolled out a little bit, but not too much. And I'm just gonna go ahead and punch that hole saw right down through there. And I'm gonna say that that's probably about a 15-degree notch. And that's where a little bit of experience in doing it sometimes comes into play. I don't really use any measuring devices. I kind of just look at it and say, it looks like about a 15. Usually I can get pretty close, but that comes with time. And not too bad. Looks like based on, I just drew a Sharpie mark on the center of the tube, and then here's the center mark on the chassis. So it looks like I still need to shave a little bit more off of that end, which is fine. Sometimes you just kind of got to creep up on these and make sure that you're not going too far, because you can always take more material off of the tube. You can't always add it back. Okay, so the backside where it was gonna meet up on the main hoop, I got that notched up. This diagonal bar is also something you have to think about, so I ended up notching some of the corner out so it can fit right there on that tube. Right there's where she's gonna go. So once I got this thing all matched up nicely, then I brought my center line mark back to the one that's on the chassis right here, so it looks like we're pretty much perfectly centered. So now that the door bar's centered, I can work on notching the other side. So what I did was, you pretty much just imagine that that hole saw is gonna come straight down through that tube. This tube is rolled out a little bit. That's how I notched it for the backside. So I just pictured that hole saw coming straight down through it. So all I did was just give it a mark. And then I just marked about where the tube was gonna be. And I came up a little bit short because, again, you can always cut more off. And then we went ahead and slipped that guy in there. Bada bing, bottom bar done. Now the last thing to do is just close the door and make sure it closes, because essentially both of these notches were kind of a guess. So let's see if she fits. So it's definitely leaned out quite a bit, but since I don't have any door cards, it's just almost touching right there on the back side. And then I'm gonna do the same thing for the top one, and ideally we're gonna be really, really close to all of this window track and all that stuff, but I want as much room inside the car as we can, so this is worth it to me. But I'm really stoked on how that bottom bar fits. This is a gusset. A lot of racing like rally especially, they require you to have a certain amount of gusseting in your door bar. In drift, they don't really, it's not mandatory. I just really like the way that it looks. And this is how I've always done it when I started doing cages on the rally cars. So Formula D requires these two small vertical tubes because technically these tubes do not intersect, so they say. So even though I weld these two tubes together, it's not enough. So they want us to have two vertical pieces that connect the two. So that's what I did. These two little vertical guys, and since we're doing this, we might as well make this thing pass FD Tech. You never know what could happen if I have to turn it into a comp car or want to sell it or whatever. So just keeping my options open. And then just tie the whole thing together with this nice, sweet looking little piece of sheet steel here. It kind of takes a while, honestly. It's pretty tedious, but once you get it kind of fitting the way that you want it, it looks really, really nice. And I plan on TIG welding this whole thing out, just so when you open open the door, it's nice and clean looking. Once we get the paint on it, it will lay down over the welds really nice. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking, but I really like the way this is looking so far. Pretty much just make it match my comp car. Okay, well, this is officially the last piece of the E36 cage. Really stoked on how it turned out. I literally just burned this last door bar gusset plate out, and this thing is still smoking hot. But that pretty much marks the end of this cage, and there's no doubt in my mind that this is a lot of work. Like, it really is. But in my opinion, a cage is the difference between a race car and a street car. So this thing, I think, is officially not a street car anymore. Looking forward to getting some paint on this thing. So that's gonna be the next step for sure. We gotta clean up all these ugly wires, which I cannot wait to get rid of all those. We got a Unicorn Garage harness coming for this thing, and we're gonna blast this thing with some paint next. So on to the next, but feeling pretty good about it so far. I'll catch you guys next time.
Will you find me? Hope you find me.